Okay, let's dive right in. Today, we're exploring a really powerful new way to get into the real estate game, one that completely flips the traditional model on its head. You know, for so many of us, the answer is a huge, resounding yes. Owning property. It feels like the final word in financial security, right? A rock-solid asset that builds wealth over time. It's the big dream. But here's the reality check. That dream often feels completely impossible because that very first step is a giant leap. Buying a house, an apartment, or even a tiny commercial plot requires a massive amount of cash right up front. And we're not talking small change, we're talking millions of shillings. That is a huge barrier, especially if you're looking at booming markets like Dar es Salaam or Arusha, where property values are just climbing like crazy. That initial investment is just out of reach for most people. And really, this is the heart of the real estate problem, isn't it? It's this incredible wealth building tool that feels locked away, only accessible to people who are already wealthy. Okay, but what if that wasn't the only way in? What if you could get all the benefits of being a landlord? I mean, that sweet, sweet rental income without having to buy an entire building yourself. Well, this brings us to a really fascinating concept called the micro REIT. It's an idea that takes the big, intimidating world of real estate and shrinks it way down to something manageable, something accessible, and honestly, something really powerful. So, what exactly is it? A micro REIT is, at its core, just a small group of people you trust. Think friends, family, colleagues, who all chip in to buy one specific unit that generates rental income. That's it. No stock market, no giant faceless corporation, just your team focused on one single asset. Now, this is where it gets really interesting. Look at the difference here. A traditional REIT, that's a massive public company owning skyscrapers and giant shopping malls. You buy shares on the stock market. A micro REIT, though, that's your small private group owning maybe a single room or a small shop. The way you get in isn't the stock market, it's your network of trusted partners. All right, so that's the theory. But how does this actually work in the real world? Let's walk through a super clear, practical example to see exactly how this comes to life. So, imagine the asset isn't some huge apartment block. It's something much smaller, much more targeted. Let's say it's a single brand new rental room right next to a busy technical college. You just know the demand from students is going to be constant. It's predictable. Okay, let's put a price tag on it. The purchase price for this one room is 3 million Tanzanian shillings. Now, for one person, that could take years to save up. That's still a pretty significant chunk of money. But here's the key. You're not doing it alone. This is where your team, your collective, comes in. You form a small group of, say, 6 trusted partners who all see the exact same opportunity and are ready to jump in together. And this right here, this is the magic of the model. With 6 partners, each person only needs to chip in 500,000 shillings. All of a sudden, that impossible real estate investment becomes completely, totally achievable. Just like that, you are co-owners of an income-generating asset. Amazing. So the crucial thing to get here is that this isn't just some cute idea. It has some massive, game-changing benefits over the old-school way of buying property. Let's break down exactly why this is so powerful. Okay, there are 3 core advantages that really make this model shine. First, it absolutely demolishes the barrier to entry. Second, it lets you diversify your investments almost right away. And third, it allows you to tap directly into what's happening in your local economy. Let's dig into that first benefit, because it is huge. This model makes real estate accessible to pretty much anyone. Just think about it for a second. You can become a property investor, earning rental income every single month, potentially before you can even afford to buy your first car. That just completely rewrites the timeline for building wealth. Now, let's talk diversification. With a traditional mortgage, you are locked into one big property for decades. But here, once that first room is making a profit, your group can pool that cash flow and buy a second room, and then a third. See, you're not stuck. You're actively building a whole portfolio of small cash-flowing assets. And finally, let's talk about harnessing local growth. In fast urbanizing areas all across Tanzania, the demand for clean, secure, small-scale rentals, for students, for new workers, it's absolutely constant. It's a sure thing. This model lets you directly invest in and profit from that economic boom happening right in your own backyard. Okay, so this all sounds great in theory, right? But how do you actually do it? The key is to stop waiting for some fund or some app to come along. Instead, you become the fund manager yourself. So how do you do it? It's really just a simple 3-step process. First, identify a hyper niche. Don't just look for property. No. Look for student housing near a specific university or worker accommodation near a new factory. Get specific. Second, form your trusted group and, this part is absolutely crucial, get it all in writing. This isn't just a formality, okay? Clear legal documents protect everyone, and they give you a roadmap for managing the property. And third, start with a single unit. Get that first cash flow engine running before you even think about buying a second one. So when you boil it all down, the micro REIT is about taking that huge, intimidating dream of owning property and just shrinking it down. It becomes a manageable, lower risk, and potentially high return starting point that is open to pretty much anyone. And that leaves us with one final exciting question to think about. If you look around your own town, your own city with this new perspective, what's the first micro property that pops into your head?